Hello everyone. How are you today? This is another dose, a daily microdose of sacred vitality. My name is Christine Dosty and I help women with energetic misalignments, blocks, and resistance to feeling their best every single day. If you've been joining me, you know that we have been talking about the chakras, and today is the powerhouse, the full center of all the chakras, the heart center. So I can't wait to get into that. Before we start, I just want to remind you that chakras connect to our nervous system and they help us process stress and trauma. So we're going to talk about the heart chakra today. The three lower chakras really deal with the physical realm, and the leader there is the ego in the solar plexus, which mistakenly sometimes believes it's fully in charge of you and your life. And the upper three chakras are more spiritual or energetic. And so we go from the root upwards into liberating and from the top down into manifesting. And everything meets at the heart. So before we get started, let's sit up nice and tall, take a deep breath, and let's come into that heart center. Just rest there for a breath or two. In your heart center. What I really like to do in this space is to call on a visualization or an image of myself completely whole and completely healed, and just invite that version of yourself to come forward. And with the next breath, we're going to drop the grounding cord down the bottom of the feet and into the earth and connect to that beautiful, supportive, nurturing earth energy, drawing it up all the way to the heart, and from the heart center reaching up into through the crown of the head and into the heavens, we are going to draw down the divine, beautiful, unconditional love energy that is all around us. We're going to bring it right down the top of the crown, top of the head, the shoulders, the arms, the torso, down the hips and legs, and out the bottom of the feet. And let that earth and divine energy just swirl around and allow it to come and pool into your heart. So just a breath there. Feeling those majestic, magical, divine, abundant energies flowing through your body, connecting you to the earth, the heavens, and to your highest self, your highest version of yourself. And let that keep going as we continue our talk today on the heart chakra. The heart chakra is about relationships. And I'm going to just read you a quote, which I love, from Anodea Judith, which will get us into the idea of what this chakra is about. Relationship is the interface between matter and information. The fourth chakra level of consciousness perceives the world as an interactive web of relationships, bound together by the force of love. So again, we're talking about the heart chakra as that bridge, and in that space of love. This is the element of air, so we're definitely talking about breath, as definitely a healing modality for the chakra, but also that's intricately tied into the lungs. We're talking about, as I said, relationships, definitely balance, unity, love, healing, our ability for compassion, connection, and understanding. This is a yin chakra. It deals with equilibrium, the giving and the taking. It also involves vegetables. So we went from proteins to fluids to starches and now vegetables. This is about our social identity. So we went from our physical identity to our emotional identity to our self-identity. All that was very internal, as I said before. It's about physical, your place in the world. And now we reach outward. So our social identity. And it's a lot to deal with self-acceptance and inner peace. And the statement for this one, of course, is to love. And when we're talking about love, we're not talking about romantic love strictly. We're talking about love as a state of being, as the unifying force of the entire universe, as unconditional love for every human being, because you understand that you are one and connected to everything around you and in this realm. That is the unifying field, love. The demon of this one is certainly grief. So when we're mourning and we're feeling lost and we're feeling disconnected, the goal of this chakra in particular is to transcend the ego. That solar plexus space, we got to get above it. And we want to get into larger patterns and understand the great web of relationships among all things, not just our relationships in our families and our relationships in our immediate circles, but our relationship to the planet, to other human beings, to anything that's alive, really. And we got to integrate this concept of balance with the different aspects of our lives. So balance in our understanding of prosperity, in our self-care, in our relationships and our duties to others, in our own health, in our spirituality. All of these different aspects of our lives, we are looking for that balance and harmony, especially within the self. So it's a lot about practicing forgiveness, acceptance, and compassion. Because the heart is the spiritual center, it unites the within with the without. So as within, so without. This is a very alchemical concept. As above, so below. These are like to the polarity again. We're talking about what's going on within your heart and within your body and within your mind is going to be reflected in your environment around you. So your internal environment has a very direct effect on your external environment, and specifically your perception of that environment. So we're talking about core beliefs of rejection, feeling betrayed, giving too much to other people, a loss of balance as in our center for ourself, and especially around self-love if it is conditional. If you love yourself if this happens, or if I do this, or if I think this way, or if I behave this way. So any internal conflicts around your concept of self-care or what you deserve to have in your life are definitely components dealing with the heart chakra. This also involves your belief in the divine, not necessarily in a religious context, but of course the religious component is big in a lot of people's lives, so you equate spirituality with a specific religion. But that is not necessarily the domain of a religion, just the understanding that there is something bigger than you at play. Bigger than you can, it's a mystery, you may not understand it, but you feel intuitively connected to it. And around this concept of divine, it is also about whether or not you feel that the universe is for you or against you. This is also what's going on in your heart chakra. So, and of course, awareness and your connection to your life purpose. If you know what that is, if you can feel connected to it, and you're living from a space where you feel that you are motivated and operating, and all your powers and your chakras are really like pulling up and pulling down into the heart center to express your true self and your life purpose in everything you're doing and in all areas of your life. So easy to say and so hard to do, right? That's the joy of being a human being. So some organs and glands that are involved in this chakra are for sure the thymus, which is just above the heart and is oftentimes called the higher heart. What I find interesting about the thymus is that after the age of 1, it starts to go away. And as the older you get, it still operates energetically within your body, but physically it's harder and harder to find. But it's directly connected to your immune system. So we'll talk later about the thymus thump as something that you can use to help move energy in the body. And this one, if it's triggered and not feeling good, you will feel unsupported. You will feel not safe. You will feel attacked by the world, by friends, by things people are saying to you. Of course, the lungs are intricately connected with the heart chakra. And this is about rejection as well, and also the feeling that you have a right to take up space. This also deals a lot with sadness and grief and sorrow and confidence. And it is no surprise why the coronavirus is such an attack on the respiratory system, which is also involved with the lungs and the heart and the circulatory system. Because we do feel a lot of grief, I believe, and sadness and loss and what's going on in our life, and just lost, like, where do we go from here? What do we do? Well, the answer is love. The answer is always love. But it's hard. It's hard to feel that way when we have learned to shut our hearts down to protect, because we're feeling like we're hurt all the time because of these core beliefs. And of course, the heart is dealing with a betrayal, feeling unloved, feeling unworthy, feeling unwanted. And the pericardium, which is around the heart, a protective sac around it, its job is to remove excess emotions away from the heart. And so an over excess of emotion can sometimes cause the heart to contract and close down. And then we end up with things like a heart wall. And heart wall is just a bunch of stuck emotions that get energetically around the heart as a protection. This can result in you feeling cold, disconnected, unable to forgive yourself or other people, lack of compassion. These things play into it. And your arms and your hands. You have chakras in your hands as well, smaller ones, and that's where you get like the Reiki and the healing touch, and even just touching people with love and hugging. And in this environment, we are also told not to touch. So this, on a subconscious energetic level, can really screw with a lot of us, because we're human beings and we are meant to touch and hug and show love with our hands, and we're being directed not to do that. So this affects us, of course. Some green flags that pop up to show you that your heart chakra is not in a balanced state: asthma, lung disease, respiratory issues of any kind, developing any autoimmune diseases or autoimmune disorders. These disorders are essentially the body attacking itself. So if you're shutting down and cutting off from your own heart or your own self-love or your own self-worth, that is an energetic way of attacking yourself. And if it continues for a long period of time, it will manifest itself physically in the form of an autoimmune disorder. If you have any long-term difficulties in relationships, if you are lacking compassion towards yourself or others, if you are feeling overcome with hopelessness, grief, jealousy, anger, any of these kinds of emotions, your heart center is completely out of whack. As I said, the heart center is about love and the essence of who you are, and projecting that outward, ideally in every moment of every day. But we're human beings, of course, but if you get off your center, get back on as soon as possible, if you can. Feeling the world is unsafe, feeling cut off from knowing, understanding, or being able to live your life's purpose or your true purpose. Breast cancer is an issue of the heart chakra, and any pain or injuries in the shoulders and arms that go on for a while. This is ruled by the planet Venus, of course, which is about love and beauty and pleasure. And some stones are the green ones, so aventurine, tourmaline, emerald, jade. All of these are about prosperity, of course, abundance, good luck. But all of those come with the joy and vitality you feel when your heart is open in a balanced way and you feel unified between your upper and lower chakras. So some ways to support this chakra: breath work. Again, get the lungs moving. I love breath work because you don't have to take a mental trip to the story of what your trauma is. The breath is like a hose, like a power hose, and you just use it in a circular fashion nonstop, and it just goes in on itself and exponentially just goes through the body, bringing that beautiful oxygen, but also just washing away all the trauma that's stuck on the inside. It's wonderful. If you don't know about breath work, please check it out. Any heart coherence. So there's a website, Heart Math Institute. They have a lot of free stuff that offers heart coherence, just really getting into that heart center and getting in there as often as possible. The more you train yourself to do it, the easier it will become to go back to the heart center and reset and get heart focus. And once you do, you will never want to live any other way, because it's so much better. Because it will help with relationships. It helps with joy of life. Relationship clearing and any heart wall healing. And then, as I said, the thymus thump. So right above here in the sternum, even if you just tap this, it will energetically move through the meridian, the thymus meridian, and it will release any blocks. And you can just take your fingers and give it a nice tap, let it reverberate, and you will start to feel better as it just pumps and taps. And just let it go down that grounding cord. Use that visualization to release it. So a thought to leave, a centering thought to leave you with today. I love myself unconditionally. I give and receive love fully and effortlessly. So again, my name is Christine Dostie, and this has been a microdose of Sacred Vitality. I help women with energetic blocks, misalignments, and any stuck emotions that you need help with to get you feeling your full and highest self every day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you tomorrow at 2 when we'll talk about the throat chakra. Have a wonderful day. Bye.